I think we live our lives each and every day with that, not that it's ordinary, but we kind of walk around with certain expectations, knowing where we are, or whatever, and then something extraordinary happens, whether it's happening to us or as we'll discuss this morning, other people being there, and then some really magical things happen. And this is a great story that we're going to share with everybody today, and it's something I just feel very honored and proud to even know and meet some of you who are involved in creating this story. So with that, I'm going to bring up Lori Kaikina, who's our CEO and Executive Director of HART, to really kick off the program. I just want to thank everybody for being here, and I'll get a chance to cite some of you individually. But Lori, it's all yours.
Thank you, Mayor. So good morning, everyone. For the cameras, I hope you caught my grand entrance coming down the stairway. So thank you, first responders, for saving me. When this incident happened, I was actually at the Rail Operations Center doing an interview with Hitachi, helping to put together a video, and I was pulled out of my interview, out of the office, and they said, there's been an incident at one of your rail stations, and I just assumed it was somebody I didn't know. And I said, okay, let me just gather my thoughts and I'll go back in and finish the interview. They said, no, you need to know it's one of yours. I said, what? Who is it? I said, Bruce. I said, Bruce Butala? I said, yeah. It took me a couple of seconds to gather my thoughts and get my composure so I could go back and go into the interview. But as soon as I was done, I'm calling my team and I said, what is going on? And we didn't know. We didn't have enough information at the time. But as I started to understand after the fact what happened, I'm just so grateful to all of you that are here today. You have no idea the impact you have. And we just take it for granted, as Mayor said. You just take it for granted. You kiss your loved one goodbye in the morning, go to work, and you assume everything's gonna be fine and you're gonna come home like everything is fine. So thank you. I think we all take you folks for granted, assume that you're always gonna be there, but thank God. Thank God you guys are all there to respond when someone from the public needs you. So today our guest of honor is Mr. Bruce Butala himself, who was the victim of what happened that day back in October, and his wife Tracy. After the incident, we rushed to the hospital, and I wasn't sure if they would let me in. I'm not family. But Tracy was Tracy was distraught, of course. So I was with her. Some of Bruce's co-workers were there, and eventually I did get to go in and see Bruce. Bruce's co-workers, I apologize if I misspeak your last names, but Mike King did CPR. Ben Stewart grabbed the AED. Mike Maines also did CPR, and Rod LaCesta also did CPR. Also who responded were, of course, our Honolulu EMS services, the IAEA crew, Fire Department, Engine 8, the American Medical Response Team, and then the State Airport Rescue and Firefighters. This occurred at the airport station that we are constructing right now. So just wanted to thank you folks enough. I went down the procession line. I felt like it was a wedding procession, but all of you, Bruce would not be here today with all of you when you responded, so thank you very much.
Wow. I wasn't expecting this, trust me. I wrote this last night. My name is Bruce Butala. I work for Lee Elliott, the consulting company for HART, for Lori. The incident happened October 31st. I was back to work January 22nd, full-time, no restrictions, 88 days. I made it clear when I was asked if it would be okay meeting all of the heroes, you people, not me, responsible for me being in front of you today. So again, this event is for you people, not for me. I tell people I was just a human mannequin. That's all I was. Your practice CPR dummy, that's me. I just want to call out some guys here. Mike King, Mike Maines, Ben, and Rod, stand up, please. These are the guys that started the whole process. There's two stuck in traffic, but these are the guys that started the process. thank you. You know that. Next, as I call it, please stand up. EMTs, paramedics, firemen, police, the AED people, DTS, EMS, airport personnel, all of you stand up if I hopefully got everybody. Again, these are the heroes, these people here. Anybody from MEC, Stanley, STG, Schindler, any of those guys show up here? They were all the contractors who stopped what they were doing to get me off the platform. This happened at the airport platform. Schindler stopped what they were doing, got an elevator working to get me down. The rest of the guys, I don't know what they did, but they were there. They got me off the platform safely. To the ambulance people. The ambulance people here, please stand up. They're stuck in traffic too. Anybody from Hitachi? Nobody from Hitachi? Okay. I work in the MSF yard. I see those guys every day. And I got over 80 texts, phone calls, messages from those people, cards. That was huge. I tried to answer them all. I think I did. I needed that though. Some were pretty funny, some were vulgar, but that's me. Nobody's here. To my HART family, Lori, they changed the logo. You know what I'm talking about. It's hard. I'm gonna have to hear the word HART for the rest of my life. So, different spelling, but that's just the way it is. If anybody's from Kaiser, Straub, doctors, nurses, anybody? Probably not. But again, I'm here because of you people. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I have no recollection of that day. I don't even remember going to work. I just remember the guys telling me that, we went out to eat. I went back to work, walked up the steps to the platform, no recollection. I woke up 5 days later. And from there, I was walking in 7 total days, out of the hospital, kicked out in 14. So that's it. I'm a miracle, absolutely. I had a defibrillator installed January 5th, January 22nd, back to work full time. So again, thank you all. This guy, the mayor,
Thank you, Bruce. I'm Jim Ireland, the Director of Emergency Services. I can't just stress how important it is for people to learn CPR and have AEDs or access to AEDs and know how to use AEDs. We see it time and time again, and I really just want to thank Bruce today for allowing us to share his story, because when we're able to do these type of events, I think it's proof with a name to a face and how these events unfold successfully when the chain of survival is there. And what I mean by the chain of survival is it starts with recognition of an emergency, which his coworkers did, then a 911 call. And these are things that are happening simultaneously. Jensen, our dispatch supervisor, is here today. He took the call. Our Pro-QA procedures and dispatch go through a series of questions to let people know who are calling from the public the need to start CPR if there's no pulse, the need to go find the AED and talk them through how to use it. So that was done, and the coworkers heroically did what they needed to do to keep Bruce alive. Next comes all the first responders, and in this case at the airport, it's multi-jurisdictional. So AMR, American Medical Response paramedics, were on scene. Airport Fire Rescue was on scene. City Fire Department was on scene. Honolulu EMS was on scene. So this literally army of first responders with advanced knowledge and equipment were there to then take over for the coworkers in life-saving efforts. And like Bruce said, the elevator wasn't on when we all got there, because I went, my office is right next to the airport, so Shane Enright and I, after all the first responders arrived, we arrived on scene, and I was impressed by just this army of people there helping. And we were like, okay, how are we gonna get him down from 4 floors down the stairs? Do we need to call for a tower from the fire department to do a specialized rescue? But somebody got the elevator on, and we just went down the elevator, easy. But that little thing made a big difference. Then the paramedics do what they needed to do, get him to the hospital, and then you now have doctors and nurses and cardiologists and intensive care specialists who continue the care and get him better to get out of the hospital. So you have, A, bystanders, CPR, AED, B, first responders, C, the doctors and nurses, and D, all of the above. So if it's a quiz, how do you save a life? It's choice D, all of the above. You need it all, and that's the chain of survival, and it worked perfectly that day. So I'm just very grateful to Bruce, again, for sharing his story, because as I've learned from the airports, and I want to acknowledge, 20 years ago when I started as the medical director at the airports in a previous job, Chief Martinez Jacobs was my chief there, and he's here today. For the airport property statewide, he was the catalyst for putting in AEDs at all the airports. The airports now have, I think, over 70 saved lives on airport property, with something like a 70% survival rate for cardiac arrest compared to a national rate of 10%. So that forward thinking is what led to, I think, the expansion of AED programs. We now have them in all city buildings. There's a bill before the Senate now that may put them in state buildings. And you never know when it's going to be needed, as we learned here a few weeks ago at council chambers. And when it's needed, there's no substitute. So again, today, and all the survival stories and successes we celebrate, I think will inspire people in different groups to learn CPR, to learn where their AEDs are. So I just really appreciate Bruce for being here. I appreciate all the first responders and just what you do every day to keep our community safe. And with that, just thank you all for coming and sharing this story. Thank you.
So good. Mike King is here. Good. Glad you could make it, Mike. Congratulations. We're about to honor these men and women that helped. Let me just say, Bruce, to you, I know you kind of downplayed your role in this, and I can understand that. But the fact is, this is about the celebration of your life, and not just your life, Tracy's as well. Okay? And this is what these folks have committed themselves to doing for those moments in time when you never know, as we've already said, happen, and the difference it makes and how rewarding it is for them to see a man like you survive and what it means for you as a family. And just to bring it home, and I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it just because it's so real. Yesterday I attended a funeral service of a woman who I've known. They were friends, husband and wife. She died home alone of cardiac arrest, and nobody was there to save her. And I had to talk with him, and he asked me to speak at the service as well, left alone. So this is a very grateful moment, and you really are our stars today, even though I understand what you're saying. We're just so happy that this has turned out to be what it is. So congratulations to you, okay? We're gonna give out some certificates and some coins here, I guess, huh? So they're right here, as I'm being directed.
Right. Cool.
And what I'd like to do is, we'll pass them one at a time, this is a Mayor's Award of Recognition, and they all say the same thing. We're gonna give out 4 of them. Mike, yours happens to be on top, so they all say the same thing, and I'll just read what it says, and then we'll call each one of you up. That's okay, Bruce. I expect you to be excited, man. All right, in recognition of your unparalleled bravery and rapid reaction in the face of a life or death situation, in which you selflessly came to the aid of a coworker by performing CPR, a demonstration of compassion and courage, ultimately preserving the life of Bruce Butala, who would almost certainly not be here today if it was not for your unequivocally heroic actions done this 7th day of February 2024, Honolulu, Hawaii. This Mayor's, please come up. We're going to give you.
Take a picture of the mayor, sorry.
Okay. Going to bring up Mike Maines. Mike, one. Oh, we're gonna do it one at a time? All right, the photo op, okay. All right, I have permission to go forward? Here we go. Mike Maines, there he is, right here. Mike, there you go. Rod LaSesta. Thank you, sir. So this one is a little bit different, and I'm going to read it because Ben Stewart is the guy who ran it to get the AED. So it says, in recognition of your unparalleled bravery and rapid reaction in the face of a life-or-death situation in which you selflessly came to the aid of a co-worker by retrieving the automated external defibrillator known as an AED, a courageous and alert decision made despite extreme pressure, which helped to save the life of Bruce Butala, who would almost certainly not be here today if it was not for your unequivocally heroic actions. Ben, way to go. Right here, man.